idea of securing family values and those timeless American traditions that's made our country great. So the Senator's going to make a few comments. Please feel free to ask your questions. We're just so delighted that you're here. So Senator.
Thanks, Amy. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. It's great here to be at Dodici's, and appreciate the hospitality. And why is this 12? Is that where you're?
That's exactly
That's
right.
the address here?
No, actually, it's a very long story, Rick. I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay.
It's not the civic number. It has to do with Italian, though, and what Dodici means.
Okay, there you go. So I will look forward to hearing that story someday. Just as a little background, my father is actually born in it, so this is a little bit of, and your daughter?
Yes.
His last name is Santorum, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. So, how about that? Pretty close.
Related?
I don't know. You know, it's funny. I never really knew. I talked to my grandfather. I never really knew the origin of our name because it's not your typical Italian name. It doesn't end in a vowel. It's actually a Latin word. Sanctorum is actually Sanctorum means in Latin. You can translate it a couple ways, but it means of the saints. Is a way to look at it, or the term Sanctu Santorum means Holy of Holies. So loosely translated the Holy One, but
Or presence of the Holy
very loosely translated. So anyway, it's great to be here, and thank everybody for coming out on a Friday afternoon and joining us here. This is a great group, and I'd love to keep this as informal as possible, just no long speeches. We'll just do what we can to answer your questions. We're traveling around, as Jamie said. I've been to all 99 counties. This is my second time here to Dodici's. I was here several months ago, and I've been here in Washington County. Well, I think one of my first events I did was an event for Sandy Griner when she was running for the Senate. I did a fundraiser for her out at anybody know where anybody at that event? It was out somewhere. It was outside of town. It was out of like a rec center or something. What's that?
Park.
Yeah, it was out in the park somewhere at a building there. And so we've been here several times, and this is one of my favorite town squares. I talked about, people have asked me what I like about, one of the things I liked about Iowa is now that I've been around, I said I just love the town squares, and this is one of my favorites. This is obviously one of the biggest ones, and really one of the prettiest that are in the state. So, and I know because I've been to all of them. Anybody here have been to all the 99 counties? Nobody? Well, I'll tell you a little bit about your state. It's really fabulous, and so I've enjoyed it, and we try to learn some things as we've traveled around the state. And we actually, one of the things I did was put together an economic plan that was really focused on some of the things I learned as I traveled around Iowa. And one of the things I learned is that most of the small towns in Iowa are as a result of, just like it was in Pennsylvania, which, you know, there was some sort of manufacturing or processing facility that was the reason for the town to exist in the first place, or it was a railroad hub, or it was some sort of center of commerce is the reason these little towns propped up. And a lot of them had to do with something that, some sort of either education or, like I said, railroad or manufacturing or processing. And as we all know what's happened over the course of the last 50 plus years, a lot of those manufacturing facilities have left. A lot of them closed down, and many of them moved overseas because we were just not competitive anymore. The business wasn't competitive, or America just made it too hard to make the product here in this country. And so one of the things that I thought about it, and looking at these beautiful town squares and looking at the wonder of small town America and what that means to America, what it means to keep those small town values and the small communities and the connectedness of people to the earth and to like I said, small town life in America. I thought it was important to put together a plan that would not just revive the economy. I think Republicans tend to say, oh, you know, what we should just revive the economy, and if the economy gets going, everyone will be helped. Well, we had strong economies in the 80s. We had strong economies in in the 90s. We had a strong economy at, at points in the last decade. But rural America continued to decline. Rural America, small town America continued to get hurt. And so the idea that, well, if we just keep growing the economy, everything's going to be fine. Not if the economy is growing in such a way that that we focus all of our growth and energy on the big cities and on service industries and financial services and things like that. Then we need to look about, how can we make sure that all aspects of American life can participate and be competitive in growing their communities and growing jobs. And one area I thought we need to focus on, which I think is important, is manufacturing. And so I put together a plan that I thought would be helpful in having America compete again for those manufacturing jobs. So Washington, Iowa, and